Okay, very good morning, dear students. So that welcome back to the physics class. So in the previous class, we were discussing regarding the NEET, JEE and KCET bids, right? So almost we completed nearly of about 13 questions, 12 questions from the two parts, that is part 1 and part 2 of KCET. But now, today I am moving with the part 3, that is what the remaining of the questions that I am going to discuss with you now. Dear students, so before going to that, keep your book as well as keep the sheet that what we provided, that is with the questions, so that I am just going to read the question and I am going to solve the answer on the board. Now let us move at the question number 13. The question number 13 was like this. Yes. A stone falls from a balloon. A stone falls from a balloon that is descending at a uniform rate of 12 meter per second. The displacement of a stone from the point of release after 10 seconds is. You can observe that the question was in this way. The stone falls from a balloon, right? That is descending at a rate of, descending means it is just decreasing. It is just decreasing. It means descending. It is coming down. So with a velocity of 12 meters per second. So that what they given? The initial velocity is 12 meters per second. And the question is continued. The displacement of the stone from the point of release after 10 seconds is. What we should calculate? We should calculate the displacement of that stone which is falling down. If the object is falling down, it is having an acceleration due to gravity. And even while discussing in the theory classes, I said you that the acceleration due to gravity is positive, and I just written it as 9.8 meter per second square. After how many seconds they given? After 10 seconds. Right. So this was the question. Whereas they mentioned the options like 725 meter, second option is 610 meter, third option is 510 meter, and fourth option is 490 meter. So how to calculate it, my dear students? To calculate this, it's very easy for the calculation. Why? Because we have the formula, that is what S is equal to ut plus of gt square. Here the object is falling down, so I am just going to write the displacement by height h. So that h is equal to what is u? It is 12. What is 10? So what is tan? It is 10. So it means 120. So 12 times are 120 plus u is of g is 9.8 and t square is 10 square. It means 10 into 10. Right. So 2 ones are 2, 4.9 right, 2, 4.9 I am just equating this 4.9 to 5. So it means 5 tens are 50. 50 into 10 becomes 500. Height is equal to 120 plus 500. You will get 620 meter. So which option is right? So that is what? Option 2 with 610 meter is the right answer. Yes. Why? Because here we just equated it, right? Suppose if you are not going to equate this to 5, then definitely you might have got which is equal to 610. So which one is very near to our answer? That is 610 meter. So answer is option 2 is the right answer. Option 2 is the right answer. Okay. Yes. Now let us move with the 14th question. Now let us move with the 14th question. The 14th question was like this. See the question carefully, which I have provided it in the sheet. So that our rocket is fired upwards. So its engine explodes fully in 12 seconds. The height reached by the rocket as calculated from velocity time graph. See, my dear students, here they given some conditions that the rocket is fired upwards. Okay, the rocket is moving upwards. Its engine explodes fully in 12 seconds. It means the engine is going to explode. It means it is going to empty its fluid. It is going to empty its fluid in 12 seconds. Then what was the question? What was the next part of the question is the height reached by the rocket as calculated from its velocity time graph. Here they have provided the velocity time graph so that we should use that velocity time graph for the calculation of height. So they have already given the hint for us as well as they given the graph. So first what I am doing is I am just going to write the graph on the board. So I am just going to write the graph here. So you can observe that the graph goes exactly this way. So I am just writing the graph which was given in the question. So the graph goes in this way. Here it is 12 and time in seconds and the last point is 132 as they mentioned. It is 1200 and here it is velocity in meter per second, t in seconds. So these are all the things which was given in the graph. Then we should calculate the height from the velocity time graph. They given that calculate the height from the velocity time graph. Dear students, please be careful so that you know already the slope of VT graph gives you acceleration. Right, acceleration. As well as the area under the curve, area under the VT graph, area under the VT graph gives you the displacement. Displacement. Here the rocket is moving upwards, so that the displacement is considered as height. So how to calculate that? By calculating the area under the graph. So I am calculating the area under the graph. The area under the graph gives us displacement. It means here the rocket is moving upwards. So that rather than using a word displacement, I am using a letter, I am using a word that is height. So that the area of this graph can be written as half into base into height. Why? Because this graph is a triangle. So how to calculate this? With the help of a graph itself. That is what? With the help of an area. Area of a triangle can be written as half into base into height. Half into. What's the base? The complete base is 130. You can even see it on the graph that was provided here. So whereas it is from 0 to 132. So that the base is 132 and height is provided here. The height is of about 1200. Right. Here it is like this. So I am just going to cancel it out. So 2 6 are 12, that is 600. So H is equal to 600 into 132. See, let us see the options. The options was in terms of 1200 into 66, 1200 into 132. Third option is 1200 divided by 12 and 1200 into 12 square. It means we should not cancel the 1200. We should place 1200 as it is. Then I am dividing 132 by 2. So that if we divide, so it means 2 ones are 2 6 are 12, 2 6 are 12. It means 66 into 1200 meter. So you can observe it in the options. Which option is going to provide this answer? Option A, that is 1200 into 66 meter. So that answer is option 1 is the right answer. Option 1 gives you the right answer. Hope you got this. How to solve the belt. Yes. Okay, now let us move with the question number 15. I am just reading out the question number 15. Observe it very carefully. A boy releases a ball from the top of the building. It will clear a window 2 meter high. It will clear a window which is 2 meter high, and at the same time another stone, 2 meter high at a distance of 10 meter below the top is nearly So the question was somewhat trickier one. So here was a question given. The question was exactly in this way, my dear students. The question is going to deal with you is a boy releases a ball from the top of the building. Okay, a boy is releasing a ball from the top of the building. It will clear a window 2 meter high at a distance 10 meter below the top. See here, it will clear a window. See, it means it is going to exactly, so when you just going to allow the ball to reach the ground, so that ball is falling from the top of the tower, whereas top of the tower is having a window, right? The tower is having a window, whereas it is going to clear a window 2 meter high at a distance of 10 meter. It means the window height is 2 meter, whereas that window is exactly 10 meter above the ground. So that the value is found to be equal to option 1 1 second, option 2 1.3 second, option 3 0.6, and option 4 is 0.13 second. Yes. Now let us see that how to calculate. So here we are just going to write the diagram first. So question number 15. So what they said? They said that from the top of a building, a boy allows a ball to reach the ground. So when the ball is falling towards the ground, G becomes positive. So simply I am going to write it as 10 meter per second square. So which is that 9.8 meter per second square. But for making my calculation, you see, I am just equating it to 10 meter per second square. But now the boy releases a ball from the top of a building. It will clear a window 2 meter high at a distance of 10 meter below the top. 10 meter below the top. See here, from the top, the window is exactly 10 meter away from the top. And then it clears, it means the ball is going to reach, it is going to cross the window, which is of about 2 meter. Right, then is nearly equal to, right, 1 second, 1.3 second, 0.6 second, and 0.13 second. It means we should calculate the time, that is t is equal to question mark. So I am just repeating it in Kannada. Just you can observe on the ball the top of a building the release ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ just ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ positive ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. To make my calculation easy, I am just equating 9.8 to 10 meter per second square. Dear students, observe ಮಾಡಿ, top of the building ಇಂದ 10 ಮೀಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವಿಂಡೋ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಬಾಲ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ, ಈ ವಿಂಡೋನ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ವಿಂಡೋದ ಹೈಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, 2 ಮೀಟರ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಬಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಟಾಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟವರ್ ಇಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಬಂದು ರೀಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವಿಂಡೋನ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಬಾಲ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕಿದೆ, ಇದ್ರ ಟೈಮ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್? ಇದ್ರ ಟೈಮ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ at what time the ball is going to cross the 2 meter window. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಟೈಮ್ನ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಟೈಮ್ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀವಿ. ಸಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ರಿಪೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಗೇನ್. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಈಗ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ 12 ಮೀಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 10 + 2 is 12 ಮೀಟರ್. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ರೀಚ್ 12 ಮೀಟರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದೇ ಥರನೇ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ರೀಚ್ 10 ಮೀಟರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ದೆನ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ 12 ಮೀಟರ್ ಬೈ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಫ್ 10 meter. So we get the time which is required for 2 meter. So hope you are getting ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. So just this is how to figure out the question. So ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದನ್ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫಿಗರ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Then we can move for calculation. You know that from the top of the tower ಅಂತ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ at highest point velocity 0 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. And I'm just writing it as initial velocity is 0 meter per second. So what happens now? H is equal to ut plus of gt square. So ut 0 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, h is equal to of gt square ಬರುತ್ತೆ. I don't want to show all these things again and again because when I starting the learner I am showing each and every step. So I want to calculate time number. So time becomes equal to cross multiplication 2h by g. T square that square root of prime is that t is equal to root of 2h by g. Dear students, see what I said. I want to know the time and which the ball is going to cross the 2-meter window. To calculate that, what I am doing, see time for crossing of 2-meter window can be calculated as time required taken by the ball to cross the 12-meter window minus time required by the ball to cross 10 meter of the height. So that, see here, now square root of ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ. ಸೊ 2 into h ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 12 ಮೀಟರ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿನಿ. 12 ಮೀಟರ್ divided by g. g is 10 minus ಇದರ minus ಬರೀತೀರಾ. So square root of 2 into height ಎಷ್ಟು 10 meter divided by 10. So here 10 cancel, remaining is 2. Now here it is 2. 12 2s are 24. 12 2s are 24 by 10. See now 12 2s are here direct ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. So square root of 24 by 10. 24 by 10 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಬರೀಬಹುದು? Square root of 2.4. So it is of about square root of 2.4 minus this is of about square root of 2. Square root of 2 is 1.4. Square root of 2.4 is, you know that square root of 2 is 1.414. So that 1.4 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. ಇದು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 2 ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So it becomes 1.5. So that 1.5 minus 1.4 is 0.1 second. So that the time required taken by the ball to cross the 2-meter window is of about 0.1 second. So which option is right? The option 4 is the right answer. That is what 0.13 seconds. So that answer is option 4, which gives 0.13 seconds the right answer. Hope you got solving of the question number 15. Take it down in your book. Yes. Now let us move with the next question, dear students. That is question number 16. So the question number 16 was like this. A stone is allowed to fall from the top of the tower. The question is similar to that of the 15th question, whereas the height of the tower is given of about 100 meter high, and at the same time another stone is projected vertically upwards from the ground with a velocity of 25 meter per second. So then the two stones will meet after. See, the question was very trickier one. So that I am just going to figure it out first. So I am just moving it. Question number 16. See here we have a top of a tower. I am just going to write the diagram first. So in your examination, no need to write all these diagrams. You should write only, you should find only the answer. So if you solve n number of numericals, if you go on solving the numbers, number of bits, more number of bits, then you get an idea how to solve it very fastly and faster. So I am just going to write a tower here, right? So what is given? A stone is allowed to fall from the top of a tower. 100 meter high. See, what is the height of this tower? They given that the height of a tower is 100 meter. From this top of a tower, a stone is allowed to fall. Whereas at highest position, always initial velocity is 0. Whereas, so this stone is allowed to fall. So similarly, at the same time, another stone is thrown vertically upwards. So that with a velocity. What is the velocity? With a velocity of 25 meter per second. 25 meter per second. See my dear students, both these stones are allowed to fall. But I don't know exactly at what distance they are going to meet. Because one stone is moving downward, another stone is thrown vertically upward. So then at some time both the stones are going to cross. Both the stones are going to meet each other. So what is that time? What is that time? So options are like this. Option 1 is 4 seconds. Option 2 is 0.4 second. And option 3 is 0.04 second. And option 4 is 40 seconds. So now I am just going to consider the two stones, for the first stone and for the second stone. Consider that the distance covered by the first stone before reaching the second stone is of about x. So that remaining is, if this total is 100 meter, so and this is x, then the remaining is equal to 100 minus x. This is taken as 100 minus x. Then they given that the velocity is 25 meter per second. No issues. See my dear students, here we should calculate the time distance. At what time both the stones are going to meet. To calculate that, this first stone is moving downwards, so that g becomes positive. Whereas this stone is thrown upwards, so that g becomes negative. So you should keep all these things in your mind. Now for first stone, so I am using the formula x is equal to ut plus of at square, ut plus of gt square formula I am using. So here initial velocity is 0, so this term becomes equal to 0. So h is x. It means the height covered by the first stone we don't know, that is taken as x, which is equal to of g is, I am just going to take it as 9.8, or even for making of your easiest calculation you can consider it as 10 also, but I will just write it as gt square. So take it as equation number 1 for the first stone. Similarly, I am moving for the second stone, so that I am using the formula. So here what is h? H is 100 minus x. I am writing it as 100 minus x, which is equal to, what is initial velocity? 25. We don't know the time, t plus of gt square. See, it is not plus of gt square because g is negative. It becomes minus of gt square. Take it as equation number 2. Let us add equation 1 and equation 2. See, adding equation 1 plus equation 2. What it will give? So add first these two terms. It means 100 minus x plus x. Now adding of these terms, so it becomes 25t plus of gt square. So minus of gt square plus of gt square, plus and minus of gt square cancel with each other. Plus x minus x cancel with each other. Remaining is 25t is equal to 100. 25t is equal to 100. I want to calculate t. So 25 ones are 25 fours are 100. So t is equal to 4 seconds. So which option is the right answer? You can see that option 1, that is answer is option 1 is the right answer. Option 1 is the right answer. Hope you got this. So just to write the diagram. So if you write the diagram, you will get an idea how to solve the things. Right. Now let us move with the next question. That is question number 17. A ball is thrown vertically. See here, my dear students. A ball is thrown vertically straight upward with a speed of v from a height h above the ground. The time taken for the ball to strike the ground is given by. So the question was like this. What we should calculate? The time taken for the ball to strike the ground is given by. This was the question they given, right? So here it is very easier question. So because here there is no need to solve any of the things, there is no need to substitute any of the values. Simply they said that the ball is thrown straight upward with a speed of v from the height h above the ground. And the next thing is the time taken for a ball to strike the ground is given by. We should calculate time, but in the question number 17 we have options. Observe the options, that is what? Option 1 and option 2. Whereas option 1 and option 2 is exactly with height, so we are not using that height, because what we should calculate, the time taken by the ball to strike the ground is given by. So we should calculate the time taken, so that the time taken formula is not present in 1 and 2. and the third option is for height itself with the initial velocity is equal to 0. Therefore option 1, option 2, option 3 are wrong, and finally the option 4, which gives you the formula, that is square root of 2g by h. But please be careful, this option 4 is also wrong. Why? Because it is t is equal to square root of 2h by g is the right answer. But here they given 2g by x. Then how to calculate this? What's the reason? How to calculate? Because they given 4 formulas, right? In that 4 formulas, for the calculation of t, we have all wrong answers. Then how to solve now? So please be careful. Now we are using the sign convention. Why? Because for upward direction, it is g is taken as negative, and for the downward direction, it is taken as positive. It is very easy to solve. Option 4 is eliminated because we know that it is the square root of 2h by g. But here they given 2g by h. So option 4 is eliminated. So remaining is 3 options. In the 3 options, we have that. So the question is, the ball is thrown straight upward with the speed v from the height above the ground. It means here at some height. So from the ground at some height h, by standing here, that person is throwing a ball upwards. It means it is having some velocity v. Right? It means even the initial velocity there. We have initial velocity. Good. Initial velocity there. Option 3 ನಲ್ಲಿ initial velocity ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದ formula ಇಲ್ಲ. So option 3 is also wrong. But please be careful. Ball ನ ಯಾವತ್ತಾದ್ರೂ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ, so by the time the displacement is positive. Suppose if you are throwing a ball downwards by standing at this position ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, height ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ height ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, at height actually ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಬಾಲ್ ಅಪ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ height ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಾಲ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ height ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ here we are throwing it upwards, right? We are throwing it upwards. We are throwing a ball upwards. While we are throwing a ball upwards, g becomes negative, h becomes positive, right? H becomes positive. Then which option is right? We have 2 options, option 1 and option 2, because we eliminated option 3 and option 4. So now we are moving well. Option 1 and option 2. See, option 1 is minus h is equal to Vt minus of Gt square, and the next one is h is equal to Vt minus of Gt square. See, here G is negative, here it is also right, here it is also right, and as well as we should have Vt. Yes, Vt is there because it is thrown with some initial velocity v, so that we have Vt, both are right. But now our part is to observe whether the height is negative or whether the height is positive. So here we are throwing it upwards. So for upward direction, for upward motion, height is positive. For the downward motion, height is negative. So that option 2 is the right answer. So answer 2. Option 2 becomes a correct answer for question number 17. Hope you got this. So from this question, you got another one, sign convention. So write the sign convention in your book, which will help you to solve other numericals. Okay, dear students. Now let us move with the next question. That is question number 18. So please be careful while listening to the question number 18. A rocket is fired upwards from the earth. Yes, from the earth's surface, such that it creates an acceleration of 19 meters per second square. So here what they are doing, the rocket is fired upwards, so that the acceleration created by the rocket is 19.6 meters per second square. First write it down. If after 5 seconds, means now the time is 5 seconds. If after 5 seconds, its engine is switched off. After 5 seconds, here actually the rocket is moving upwards. It is fired upward. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ರಾಕೆಟ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 19.6 ಮೀಟರ್ ಪರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮೂವ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದ 5 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ನಂತರ, ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 5 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರೇಷನ್, ಸೊ ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೈಟ್ ರಾಕೆಟ್ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅರ್ತ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸಿಂದ. ಅರ್ತ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸಿಂದ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮೂವ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ 5 ಸೆಕೆಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರಾಕೆಟಿನ ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಆದಮೇಲೂ ಸಹ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೈಟಿಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಹೈಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So we should calculate the maximum height covered by the rocket. So you know that easily calculate maximum. Why? Because see here in red graph we have the formula x is equal to ut plus of at square. So we have this formula so that we can easily calculate that. So how to calculate the ut plus of at square? Right. Okay, that formula use not, but to use that formula, so put it only one time. So that engine stop so that we should calculate the h maximum. See, height reached by the rocket in 5 seconds plus height reached by the rocket after switch off engine. Right? Engine switch on ಮೇಲೆ switch off formula is height reach ಆಯ್ತು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, but that also we should calculate. And height reached by the rocket in 5 seconds. See here, rocket is just moving. Okay, rocket move ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Yes, rocket is moving, so that it is fired upwards, so that with an acceleration, right? With an acceleration, so that is 19.6 meter per second square. Okay, move agಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, so after t is equal to 5 seconds, right, engine is going to switch off, right. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, some height reach ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, that height engine switch off ಆದಮೇಲೂ ಕೂಡ reach ಆಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ height ಮತ್ತೆ t is equal to 5 seconds ಅಲ್ಲಿ reach ಆಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ height ಎರಡು height ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ the total height h maximum we will get. The total height h maximum we will get. So I am calculating this. So here the initial velocity is 0. So that remaining is of g t square plus, right, here h is equal to again of g t square ಬರೀಬೇಕು, but we don't know t value, time ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. So I am just moving towards the writing in a different way. ಅದನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, of v square by g ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. See different type ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅದು of v square by g ಅಂತ represent ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ dear students. So it means, see, please be careful. So I just represented here in terms of v square by g. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ v ಬೇಕು. How to calculate this? From the acceleration which was given here. So I will calculate that. You know that the acceleration can be written as velocity by time taken. I want to calculate velocity. Cross multiplication a into t. V is equal to what is a? 19.6 into 5. Say students, in the question they given, so we should calculate it. So 19.6 into 5, it becomes 98 meter per second. It becomes 98 meter per second. So I calculated the value of v. Now let us move for the calculation. Here they given the acceleration. I am not using this acceleration due to gravity. I will use a itself. I will use a. You may get confused with how we got v square by a. It's very easy, dear students. Of at square balagutte. What is a? What is a? Acceleration can be written as v by t. So v by t into t square, 1 q and t cancel. Remaining is t. So ಏನಾಯ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ of v into t ಬಂತು. ನನಗೆ t ಬೇಡ. So t ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರೀತೀರಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ t can be written as v by a. So that ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 1 by 2 into v into v by a. Finally of v square by a. So in place of at square, I written it as of v square a, because I don't know time. ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, velocity terms ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. So here of into what is the acceleration, 19.6 into t square is 5 square, it is 25 plus of what is v? V is 98 into 98 divided by, right, 19.6. See my dear students, you know that here I just written here in this way, that is y is equal to of 19.6 into that. So if I just move on doing this, here it is like 19.6 is nearly equal to 20. 20 by 2 is 10. So 10 into 25 is 250. See ಇದು ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ 20 ಗೆ ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೆ 20 by 2 ಅಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು 10 ಸೊ 10 into 25 ಅಂದರೆ 250 ಸೊ ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಸೊ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾನು 20 ಗೆ ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸೊ 20 into 2 it becomes 40 and here it is 98 into 98 so you can use this method of multiplication to calculate it or else even you can divide it and you can go for the calculation stress ಬರುತ್ತೆ so ಇಲ್ಲಿ solve ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ see you have completely 98 into 98 divided by divided by 40 you have so if you just divide it you will definitely get the value which is equal to 490 you will get it is equal to 490 so I am just going to add this so that h maximum is equal to see 0 9 plus 5 we have it becomes 14 so 6 plus 2 is 840 meter. Let us see the option. So we have 980, 735, 490 and 245. So here we got 840 which is nearly equal to 735 meter. So that option 2 is the right answer. Wait my dear students, something we did a mistake here. I think here it becomes 740. So that's why because 9 plus 3 this one is 4 plus 1 6. Yes. Right. So which option? Because we have 735 meter. So which is equal to 740 meter. That is the right answer. So don't confuse with this. Then 20 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ನನಗೆ 98 into 98 divided by 40 ಇರುತ್ತೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಈಸಿ ಮಾಡೋದು 98 into 98 divided by 40 ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಸೊ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ 98 ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ you can make it to 100 and you can solve ಅವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ you will get an answer so if you just make it as to 100 and if you just make it as 100 you should not do it because 2 points variation ಆಗುತ್ತೆ I am just showing it ಅಷ್ಟೇನಾ so how much you will get 1000 divided by 4 ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ 1000 divided by 4 so you will get nearly 4 that is what 490 value 490 ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ 520 530 something ಬರುತ್ತೆ so it is of 700 values ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ so ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇರಬಹುದು ಯಾಕೆ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು so 98 98 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು divided by 40 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು it takes a length here one is a length here step so rather than doing it that way you can move it up doing it very fastly right so finally we got 740 meter. Now let us move with the next question, that is question number 19. So the question number 19 was like this: a ball is thrown vertically upwards from the top of a tower of height h with velocity v. The ball is thrown vertically upwards from the top of the tower. The ball strikes the ground after. We should calculate the time here. See, now we are just throwing a ball upwards, right? So while we are throwing a ball upwards by standing above the ground, so I just show you the height becomes positive. Already I just show you. So it's question number 19. Now on the top of the tower ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಬಾಲ್ ನ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ g ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ height ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ so with some initial velocity ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ so velocity becomes negative so let us see that how to solve this question so my dear students you know that h is equal to ut plus of 80 square ut plus of 80 square is a formula so here it is g so now I am applying sign convention velocity is minus vt and g is minus so that minus of g t square. See my dear students, I am going to replace this equation so that replace ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಇದೀವಿ terms ನ so ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ if I just replace it out all the terms is going to cancel with each other so it's very easy for us to solve. So my dear students, I am just replacing the terms and I am calculating it out. So now let us calculate that just by substituting the value. So already ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ so one point ಗೆ reach ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ it reaches the ground ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ so I am just going to write it again. So it is thrown upwards whereas height becomes positive g g becomes negative. But the question is, so it reaches the ground. That is, total g becomes positive. Total g ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ positive ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Initial velocity is negative ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So then h is equal to ut plus of gt square, right? So that is what h is equal to minus vt. So total, because ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ it becomes positive of gt square, right? Now I am just shifting out the terms. Again ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, terms shift ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ let us think it out. So of cross multiplication, 2 ನ cross multiplication ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 2vt plus gt square and it becomes minus h is equal to 0. With arithmetic mathematics cross multiplication ಮಾಡಿ equate ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So it becomes gt square, so t square ಆಮೇಲೆ t quadratic equation form ಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ minus 2vt minus h is equal to 0. This is the form of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So now let us apply this formula. I want to calculate t, right? I want to calculate t. And minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So here minus is there, minus of minus b is minus 2b. So minus 2b is b, ಇದು b ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು a, this is a, this is b and this is c. So ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ minus into minus plus 2b plus or minus square root of b square, it means minus 2b square minus into minus plus 2b square is 4b square minus 4ac. 4a is g, c is minus h, minus into minus becomes plus. So 4gh divided by 2 into a is g, 2g, right? Now let us see, this is equal to 2v divided by 2g plus or minus square root of 4b square plus 4gh divided by 2g. See here 4 is common, that is the square root of 4 becomes 2. So 2 to cancel, here only 2 to cancel. Remaining is b by g plus or minus b square plus gh, square root of b square plus gh divided by g. Dear students, see here g common ಇದೆ, so 1 by g ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತೆಗಿತೀನಿ, ಉಳಿಯೋದೇನು v plus or minus square root of v square plus gh. So ಇಷ್ಟು ನಾನು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಬಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಈ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ v ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ನ ಕಾಮನ್ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ v ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಸಿ 1 by g ಹಾಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ v ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ನ ಕಾಮನ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಸೊ v ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇಂಟು ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 1 plus gh by v square, gh by v square ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ v square ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ v square ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ 1 into v square v square plus so gh by v square into v square is gh. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ v square ಇದೆ, square root of v square is v. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ v ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀನಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ v ಕಾಮನ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ v ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ v by g into 1 plus or minus ಇಲ್ಲೂ v ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ square root of 1 plus gh by v square. So this is what the time required. So which option is the right? So that the option with this formula, that is what the first option, v by g into 1 plus or minus square root of 1 plus gh by v square. That is option 1 is the right answer. Answer is option 1. This is how to solve it. I hope you got this. Now let us move with the next question, that is question number 20. The question number 20 was like this: a particle experiences a constant acceleration for 20 seconds after starting from rest. It travels a distance s1 in first 10 seconds and a distance s2 in the next 10 seconds. Okay, let us see how to solve this question. So my dear students, here they said the particle experiences a constant acceleration for total 20 seconds. So I am just going to call the 20 seconds as 2t, or we can call it as Question number 20, right? Yes. Yes. What the given? The time is 20 seconds. If it travels a first distance, S1 distance in the first 10 seconds, S1 distance is covered in first 10 seconds. So that is what T1 is equal to 10 seconds and covers S2 distance in the time T2 is equal to remaining 10 seconds. Rather than writing this one as T1 and T2, so T is 10 seconds and next time required is 2T. So T dash is equal to 2T. See, let one reasoning. First time is 10 seconds, next is 2T, right? So, how to solve this? Dear students, see, no need to write this one, simply you can solve. See, let one reasoning. So, the distance covered, S1 can be written as of GT square. There is no issues. Because in the first time it covered S1 distance. First secondary, when the time is 10 seconds, it covered S1 distance. Again, 20 secondary, total 20 secondary, ಎಷ್ಟು distance cover ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದೇ ತರ next 10 seconds ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು distance cover ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಅನ್ನೋ distance cover ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. First 10 second ಅಲ್ಲಿ S1, next 10 second ಅಲ್ಲಿ S2 distance cover ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 10 plus 10 becomes 20. Total distance ಎಷ್ಟು? S1 plus S2. So ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ S1 plus S2. So while we are solving this type of questions, here S1 plus S2 cover ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು distance cover ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಯಾವ ತರ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Here of G T square. ಈ T ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀತಾರೆ? ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. See, ಈ T ನು 10 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್, ಈ T dash 10 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ T dash ಮತ್ತು T ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ 10 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ S1 ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 10 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ S2 ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? S1 ಪ್ಲಸ್ S2. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? T ಪ್ಲಸ್ T ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀಬಹುದು 2T ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. 10 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ S1, 10 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ S2. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? S1 ಪ್ಲಸ್ S2. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? 2T. ಹೌದಾ? 1T ಅಂದ್ರೆ S1, 1T ಅಂದ್ರೆ S2, 2T ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ S1 ಪ್ಲಸ್ S2 ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. S1 ಪ್ಲಸ್ S2 ಇದೆ. ನನಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು? S2 ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ S2 is equal to of G. 2T square 2 2s are 4T square, right? 4T square minus here it is S1. S1 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? of GT square. So of GT square, right? 2 1s are 2 2s are. So it is 2GT square minus of GT square like that. See, we are nothing we are doing. We are just substituting the values and we are just solving it out. So ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅದೇ ಥರನೇ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಅದೇ ಥರನೇ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಫ್ ಜಿ ಟಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕಾಮನ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಕಾಮನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಹೊರಗೆ ತೆಗಿತೀರಾ. ಆಫ್ ಜಿ ಟಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ 4 minus 1. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಇದೆ. ಆಫ್ ಜಿ ಟಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಹೊರಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. 4 minus 1 ಅಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು? 3 into ಆಫ್ ಜಿ ಟಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. ಇದು S2, right? ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದರೆ S2 is equal to ಏನಿದೆ? 3 into ಆಫ್ ಜಿ ಟಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅಂದರೆ S1. So S2 is equal to 3 times of S1. That is what option 2 is the right answer. Option 2 gives you the right answer. Dear students, we have solved out about 20 questions in your KCET, JEE and NEET bets. So that remaining term is for your homework. So just try to calculate it. Even if you have any doubts, you can ask me. You can call me and you can ask the doubts, right? Okay, thank you dear students.